This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today, we'll explore and feel Mid-Wilshire, followed by an interview with incredible Patti Lewis, who will share with us what it feels like to live in this very nice area of Los Angeles.
Well, I think one of the things is it really is in the very middle. It's the middle of Los Angeles. So it is easy to get to different places. It is actually not hard to get to Santa Monica. It's not hard to get downtown or to other areas in Los Angeles from where I am, because it's like in the middle. And because it's Los Angeles and there's so much driving, I feel like there are also the options to take the surface roads or to get on a freeway.
Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
And now, are you ready to feel the soul of Mid-Wilshire? In the heart of Los Angeles, there is an area known as Mid-Wilshire. It consists of a tapestry of vibrant neighborhoods, each infused with its own unique charm. Little Ethiopia offers a tantalizing glimpse into the culinary wonders of a distant land. In Miracle Mile, history echoes through the grand Art Deco facades, weaving tales of a bygone time. Oxford Square reveals its graceful allure, a sanctuary of elegant homes nestled amidst lush greenery. Park La Brea enchants with its sprawling gardens and iconic towers, a harmonious blend of nature and urbanity. The tranquil Park Mile captivates with its tree-lined streets and stately residences exuding an air of serenity. Sycamore Square embraces us with its cozy streetscapes and friendly atmosphere, a true neighborhood where a community thrives. And finally, Wilshire Vista welcomes us with open arms, a haven of architectural gems and a melting pot of various cultures. Long ago, Mid-Wilshire emerged as the first grand thoroughfare in the city, designed to welcome the ever-growing flow of automobiles. An ensemble of Art Deco-style buildings rose from the ground, becoming majestic homes for esteemed retailers of the 1920s and 1930s. These architectural wonders stood as testament to an era of opulence where dreams mingled with the intoxicating scent of possibility. The cultural significance of Mid-Wilshire has flourished over time, casting an even more profound spell upon the city. It is here that art aficionados can embark on a pilgrimage to marvel at the grandeur of the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the Patterson Automotive Museum, the Kraft Contemporary Museum, and the illustrious Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Each step whispers tales of creativity, innovation, and the pursuit of beauty. And then there are the ethereal La Brea tar pits, a reminder of prehistoric marvels reserved beneath the bustling surface. When hunger beckons, Mid-Wilshire answers with a composition of flavors, from humble food trucks offering amazing street cuisine to mouth-watering Japanese delicacies, smoky barbecue delights, aromatic Ethiopian feasts, and timeless burger joints. Culinary treasures await the curious explorer. As dusk falls, dive bars and sports bars come alive, offering glimpses of camaraderie and shared laughter. The sky, painted with hues of twilight, invites you to step into the embrace of urban light and become a part of its ever-evolving tale. Like a constellation of stars plucked from the night sky, these vintage lampposts stand tall, each one telling its own story of the city's past, illuminating the night with their warm glow. This expansive assembly sculpture, created by Chris Burden in 2008, is situated at the entrance of Wilshire Boulevard in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and showcases an impressive collection of restored street lamps originating from the 1920s and 30s. Comprising a remarkable arrangement resembling a grid, Urban Light features a total of 202 street lamps. These lamps were predominantly sourced from various locations in Southern California, such as Hollywood, Glendale, and Anaheim, alongside a few from Portland, Oregon. The composition encompasses 16 distinct streetlight models, many of which were specifically designed for particular neighborhoods and streets, evoking a sense of uniqueness and diversity within the sculpture. Urban Light is more than mere art. It represents the collective idea of a city that has embraced dreams and pursued boundless creativity. It symbolizes the indomitable spirit of Los Angeles, a city that thrives on its diverse mix of cultures and its unwavering passion for artistic expression. It reminds us that just as light can transform darkness, art has the power to ignite the soul, to inspire change, and to bridge the gaps that separate us. Urban Light stands as a testament to the human desire to create, to leave a lasting imprint on the world, and to connect with one another through the universal language of creativity. And here we are. Welcome to Mid-Wilshire. I'm so happy to have Patti Lewis here with me. Patti is a yoga student and teacher, mom to a human and a dog, married to an Italian, and loves hiking, the beach as well as snow. Patti wishes she was a better gardener, loves to read, and loves eating brown rice and chips, but not together, although maybe. Yoga has seen Patti through many life changes, good and bad. It is the thing she consistently comes back to. It is always new, yet old and familiar and welcoming. It forces her to be present and to confront whether she can have compassion for herself as well as others, whether she can be truthful and honest with herself and with others. Yoga has the power to remove layers and brings Patti face to face with herself and allows her to face the wider world. Patti has studied over the years with many teachers for various periods of time. She has learned something from all of them, in no particular order. Eddie and Jocelyn Stern, Noah Williams, Kimberly Flynn, Chuck Miller, Matey Israeti, Jody Blumstein, Jean Heilman, and her first teachers at Integral Yoga. Patti has a degree in anthropology from Barnard College and an MFA from Yale School of Drama. You can follow this incredible human being and wonderful yoga teacher on Instagram at Patti Lewis Yoga, and please check out her website www.pattylewis.com. Patti will share with us what it feels like to live in Mid-Wilshire. Hello, Patti.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm a little chilly, but I'm okay.
Okay. It can be chilly in Los Angeles. Not many people know about that.
I know. It's a
So,
special chill.
yes, yes. Well, Patti, I was so looking forward to our conversation, and you are one of my favorite people whom I
Oh,
adore, and you're very, very special to me. And I used to take yoga classes from you regularly, and
yes.
now it's an honor for me to have you as my guest on this podcast.
Oh, I'm honored to have been asked and to be here.
Oh, thank you, Patti. So today we're going to talk about Mid-Wilshire, and you happen to live in this area. And I'm curious to ask you, how do you think the Mid-Wilshire area compares to other neighborhoods in Los Angeles? And what would you say sets it apart from other neighborhoods?
Well, I think one of the things is it really is in the very middle. It's the middle of Los Angeles. So it is easy to get to different places. It is actually not hard to get to Santa Monica. It's not hard to get downtown or to other areas in Los Angeles from where I am because it's like in the middle. And because it's Los Angeles and there's so much driving, I feel like there are also the options to take the surface roads or to get on a freeway. So that's always been a big positive for us in terms of where we have to get to as a family or where we have to drive to. I do think that one of the things is it is much more urban because it is in the middle of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Not as urban as, say, downtown with tall buildings, but it is dense. It's more dense. And I think it has a mix, more like the mix of duplexes, quads, and houses
Mm-hmm.
is closer to the houses are closer together than in other parts of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
In some other parts of Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Mid-Wilshire is famous for duplexes and triplexes and
Mm-hmm.
fourplexes. So it's the area where you can actually still find those very unique homes.
Yep. And that's actually what I live in is a duplex.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why did you decide to choose Mid-Wilshire for your home? So is it because it was a duplex or it was because of the area?
Well, we were living a little closer to Fairfax for a while, and my husband works in Culver City, and it's not easy to get to Culver City.
Yes.
We had, before living close to Fairfax, we lived in Los Feliz, so that was an hour and a half drive going home in traffic sometimes. And when we started to look to buy something, I think I fell in love first with the duplexes because they're so Art Deco, and that just speaks to sort of California and Los Angeles to me. There's a lot of the classic like separate shower and tub.
Yes.
Which sounds so silly, but it's very, as somebody who grew up on the East Coast, it's very Los Angeles. And the tiles, also the archways of the duplexes and the Art Deco architecture. And we realized we really wanted to stay in this neighborhood because of the centrality of and the ease of getting to other places that you might need to get to. If you're located here, you can get to other places as easy as it is to get to any place in Los Angeles if there's bad traffic, which is not so easy, but
you can walk.
Well, and that's another reason that I feel like this neighborhood is different than other places because there are we can really walk to a lot of things here from here.
Yes.
We can walk to Trader Joe's, we can walk to restaurants, we can walk to I can walk to Lowe's if I needed to.
Yes.
There's Targets to choose from. It's possible to walk and do what you need to do and walk home.
Very true. And you can also walk to LACMA.
Yes, which is something we spent a lot of time doing when my daughter was young.
She's still very young.
Not as young as before. And LACMA also has this program where I think it's up until children are 18, you can get a pass for them and they can enter for free. And I think it's 1 or 2 adults can accompany them. They can't go to all the exhibits, but you can really go in and out of the museum at will, which makes sense when you have small children that don't really want to stay in the museum the whole time, to go in for a little while and then to leave. But it's great that LACMA has this program where you can get a free pass for your child.
Yes, it's a wonderful program, and I wish more people would use it, because what can be better for a child to learn about other cultures and art than art? Beautiful.
We spent a lot of time there. It was quite enjoyable.
Oh, wonderful. And what would you say you like the most about Mid-Wilshire? Is it its walkability? Is it its Art Deco vibe as far as like the buildings? So what is it that is your favorite thing about this area?
I think it's both of those things. Can I choose both?
Yes, you can.
Okay. It's both of those things that feel very uniquely Los Angeles and unique to Los Angeles also.
Very true. Yes, because there are not that many places in Los Angeles where you can walk. You have to really specifically pick those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And have you noticed any challenges while living in Mid-Wilshire?
Well, because it is in the middle and because it is a little more dense, there is more traffic, and there are more buildings going up now. And so traffic is rerouted, and that can be challenging and sometimes annoying. And I think that all of Los Angeles seems to be, there's a lot of changes happening.
Yes.
And I think they're impacting all of Los Angeles, but I do think that sometimes I feel it because I am in Mid-Wilshire. And I think the traffic, sometimes I wish people realize they're driving through neighborhoods. They're driving through neighborhoods instead of like, it's not a freeway. So slow down.
Very true. I think when people get into the car in Los Angeles, they actually forget that there is anything around them. It's a very specific thing about Los Angeles.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, because people spend so much time in their car that they forget there is anything around. But once they get out of the car, it's very different. It's almost like a completely different person.
A different person, and they suddenly almost feel like they're in a different city because the things that they never notice that they drive past all the time.
Right.
I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that you did live in Los Feliz. You did live near Fairfax. And having lived in Mid-Wilshire, so now for some time, how has it impacted your personal and professional life?
So, as you know, I used to teach on Larchmont, which was actually a very good commute from Mid-Wilshire. And I no longer teach there. It closed during the pandemic, and it has since reopened, but I haven't gone back to teaching there. But one of the reasons we also chose this neighborhood is my husband, as I said before, he works in Culver City. So it's possible for him to get there from here. He was a bike rider and still he rides his bike to work.
Oh my God, from Mid-Wilshire to Culver City.
You know, it seems really far, but I think it's 8 miles round trip, which, you know, it's not really that much.
It's
4
not
miles
much
there.
at all.
I know. And there were times when my daughter and I were driving. She used to go to a preschool in Culver City, and we would leave the house at the same time, and he was riding at the same. He wasn't even riding fast, but we would almost arrive in Culver City at the same time.
Wow.
So
very interesting.
And that was because of traffic. But I do think that it has allowed us more time as a family because our commutes are shorter and we don't have to spend so much time in the car driving to different places because it's so centrally located.
Yes.
So I think it really has impacted in a positive way on us as a family.
Yes, it makes sense because if you spend less time in traffic, you spend more of this time with your family.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's a very good impact.
It is.
And now that we've talked about the area, so maybe you could share a little bit what community is like in Mid-Wilshire, and do you feel that the community came together to support each other during challenging times, like we recently had with COVID-19 pandemic?
So the community, it's when we first moved in here, we met our neighbor across the street, who was this wonderful woman, Laura Bell, who had lived on the block for, I want to say, at least 30 some years. And then our neighbor next to us had lived, it was actually more like 40 some years.
Wow.
Both of them. And then there was up the street, one of the first African-American architects lived up the street, and he'd been here for like 40 some years. And
what's his name?
I forgot. And I should have known because he was my neighbor, but it was not Paul Williams. But his daughter and his niece still own the house. And our neighbor who we first met, Laura Bell, across the street, she still owns the house, but she's moved in with her son who lives nearby, but not across the street, but he grew up here. And I will say that one of the things my daughter said when we first moved in, she was young. She was about 5 or 6. And she said to me, "Why are there only old people here?" And I said, "Just wait." And there were older people. There was a woman not right next door to me, just at one house beyond, who she had moved here from Germany, I think, 60 some years ago. And she raised her family in the duplex. And so it was a family neighborhood, and the families grew up and left. And so the older parents were left in the houses. But it has since that's just my block, but it's also around. There are a lot of people who've lived here for a very long time, who've either lived and owned their house or duplex for a very long time, or have rented for a very long time, because there is also rent control, and raised their families. And I want to say that people are pretty friendly
Mm.
and say hi when you're walking or acknowledge you, which is also one thing that, going back to what you asked before about what sets it apart from other neighborhoods in Los Angeles, I find there to be a little more like, hi, how are you? How you doing?
Nice.
And willingness to meet each other. And I've noticed older people who walk around in this neighborhood and have walked for years, they really stop and check in and talk to each other. I mean, neighbors behind there's a woman behind me, and she has about four little dogs, and she and her husband would always walk in the neighborhood with the dogs, and her husband has since passed away, but we still see her and talk to her. So there is a sense of community. And as far as during the pandemic, I feel like people did sort of come together, but there was that moment where people would bang the pots outside.
Yes.
So we did that. But there was also a little bit of keeping to yourself because people were unsure of things. But I do think for the most part, there was a little bit of keeping an eye out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yes, and probably because, as you mentioned, a lot of those people are older, especially on your block, and they were saying that COVID was really bad for and dangerous
Exactly.
for older people, so that could have been the reason as well.
Exactly. And unfortunately, in the last few years, like my neighbor next door, he sold the house and he moved, but there's a lovely family next door and they have the duplex, and like the mother-in-law is upstairs. And the architect has since also died, and his niece and I think his daughter they're not living there now. They're renting it out, but they're still around.
Mm-hmm.
But neighborhoods do change slowly. I mean, people die.
Yes, that's very
So
true.
yeah, but it was really nice when we first moved here that there were so many older people who really were willing. They were very willing to talk about the neighborhood and their life here. They were really
Yes.
open. Yeah.
And it gives actually a tribute to the area if people moved there and lived there with their families their entire lives and chose to stay there into their older age.
Mm-hmm.
It means that they really enjoyed the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. And it does give a different feeling to the neighborhood.
Yes. And also, I think there is so much practicality to owning a duplex, triplex, or fourplex
Mm-hmm.
because you can really, have tenants living in the other part
Mm-hmm.
who will help you pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
And have your own place at the same time. It's very, very smart.
Our one of our neighbors sort of around the corner and up the block, we were walking by and we always said hi to him. And we've just always said hi. And this one time he said, "Oh, how are you doing? Hey, do you want a tree?" And he actually gave us like a cutting that he had started from one of his trees, and it was growing, and he gave it to us and we planted it in our yard.
Oh, how nice.
It turns out he's lived there for years and he has a quadruplex. I know, it was really nice. And it's like, now we have a tree in our yard from our neighbor. It's just, kind of nice.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
Aww.
And he's been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Well, Patti, now that we've talked about the neighborhood and the area, so could you please share a little bit about your home? What does your home actually mean to you? What would you say is the heart of your home?
Well, I would immediately say the heart of my home is the kitchen.
Many people do.
I'm sure. I mean, it's for functional reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to bake and I kind of like to cook, although I've stopped liking to cook for some reason in the last 2 years. But I do like to bake. And my husband is a really good cook. And my daughter likes to cook. So for sure, that is the heart of our home. And we also enjoy eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my home to me means safety and respite.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's what my home means to me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Patty. Um, Now I have a few blitz questions to you about Mid-Wilshire.
Okay.
About your favorite places. And maybe you could tell me what your favorite restaurant is.
Well, it's fun. So I actually think it's the Little Ethiopia, which is
Oh,
on Fairfax between San Vicente and Olympic and Pico.
mm-hmm.
It actually doesn't even go as far as Pico. It goes down to, what is that street? Like Whitworth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ton of really good restaurants there. Like you can pick and you can't go wrong.
Okay.
And we like to go to Buna. But yeah, I'd say the Ethiopian neighborhood.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I've driven by many times. I should actually stop there one time and experience this cuisine.
Yeah.
What about your favorite store?
I don't know. I have kind of stopped shopping. And this is kind of changing because LACMA is undergoing such a huge expansion.
Yes.
But the museum shop is pretty awesome there.
Mm-hmm. It is actually pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You can find amazing books there.
Yes.
Okay, LACMA it is.
You can find amazing books there. That's right.
My next question to you. Do you like coffee?
I do like coffee. And you're going to ask me where I like to go have coffee.
Yes.
In Miracle Mile, in Mid-Wilshire.
Okay.
Because I usually go to my kitchen.
Well, then that's the best place for coffee. And this is the heart of your home. So you go to the heart of your home to get the best coffee.
Exactly. There is also, oh my gosh, La Brea Bakery, which is on La Brea and just above 3rd. No, just above 6th.
Okay, La Brea Bakery.
Yeah, I do like my kitchen.
Okay, and my last question to you, what are the best streets to go for walks in Mid-Wilshire?
This is going to sound strange, but sometimes if you walk on San Vicente has a huge, is it called, the divider in the middle?
Yes.
And it's funny because somebody told me it used to be not the tram. It used to be a tram, which I didn't know, but they took it out, and it used to be a tram that went all the way up to like San Vicente in West Hollywood, which actually does make sense. But it's kind of fun to walk in the middle there. But I also really walk from where I am. I walk over the other side of La Brea, and this is my dog. My dog loves this. And on the other side, we walk up the streets, and there's a little park called Queen Anne Park, and there's also like tennis courts. So we really like to walk around there. It's a little hilly, but you can avoid the hills if you don't want the hills. And there's some big trees. My sister recently moved into Mid-Wilshire. And so now I'll often walk from my house and walk over and up. She's on Ridgely, and I'll walk over there and then come back to my house on Redondo.
Oh, that's nice.
I just, walking in my neighborhood on Edgewood Place is even nice because I know my neighbors. So I say hi.
Oh, I'm so glad that you found, this little place, in the middle of village.
It feels like a little pocket. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like you're about to say it's like a little pocket.
A little pocket, where you feel safe, and your home is your respite, and your kitchen is the heart of your home, and both you and your husband love to cook, and you walk your dog, and it seems very nice and relaxing for such a, bubbling megapolis as Los Angeles to have this little place, and your husband can take his bike to Culver City to his work, which I've never heard of before, but this is fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. I actually have a lot of friends in the neighborhood, so it's fun to walk around and bump into people and say hi. And and walk with them with their dog.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for this wonderful, warm, and relaxing conversation. So you did share, the vibe of Mid-Wilshire with me and with our listeners. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share all these wonderful things with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patti. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for tuning in to experience and explore Mid-Wilshire with my special guest, Patti Lewis. If you enjoy my podcast In the Mood for California, please sign up for future episodes at your preferred platform and please leave your feedback. I really appreciate your time and support. You can follow me on Instagram at In the Mood for California and check out my website www.inthemoodforcalifornia.com. Selling and buying homes with soul is not just my real estate strategy. It is an intuitive and holistic approach that embraces your values, aspirations, and conscious intentions. If you want to discover the power of mindfulness in your real estate journey with my compassionate guidance, I'm here for you. Next time, we'll travel to historical Alhambra. Looking forward to seeing you there.
In the Mood for California, feel the soul of Old Hollywood.